Hi everyone and welcome to your second lesson on scientific notation. Today we are going to look at how to change large numbers into scientific notation. So before we do that we need to look at what scientific notation is. The scientific notation, or it can otherwise be called standard form, is just another way of writing a number. The same way you could write 0.5 as a half. Standard form of scientific notation is just another way of writing usually very, very large numbers or very, very small numbers. A number is written in standard form if it can be written as a times 10 to the power of n, where a has to be between 1 and 10. Okay, and that's the condition that we need to make sure that that first number here is between 1 and 10. Okay, if you can pause the video just now and get that copied down for me, that would be great. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is look at some examples. Now you don't need to copy this bit down because you'll have enough examples later on. But these are all numbers written in scientific notation. Okay. We have some positive powers, we have some negative powers, we've got a 0 power. But all of these numbers in place of the a are all between 1 and 10. And that's what we're looking for. Okay. So we're going to look at some very large numbers today, and that's all we're going to focus on. So first of all, we've got the distance between Earth and the Sun, and that is approximately or roughly 92 million miles. Okay, now we're going to come back to these in a wee minute and change them into scientific notation, but just now we're just looking at examples of big numbers. The next one, we've got an old man here, and he's celebrating his 70th birthday, and what we can do is we can change that into seconds. Don't know why you would want to, but that's what we're doing. And we could change that into seconds and work out that he is 2,200,000,000 seconds old. Okay, so that's quite a big number. And lastly, we've got the dinosaurs, and they roamed the earth approximately 228 million years ago. So how do we change a number into scientific notation? Well, let's first of all look at 345,000. We need to move the decimal point in this number until we get a number between 1 and 10. So if we move the decimal point from here, move it one place over, we get 34,500, we get 3,450, 345, 34.5 and 3.45. So 3.45 is the number that we're going to use because it's between 1 and 10, and the decimal point comes after the first non-zero digit. So the first number that's not a 0, the decimal point usually comes straight after it, so 3.45. We then have to count how many places we had to move that decimal point. In this case, we had to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to get it going. So we can now write that number in scientific notation as 3.45 times 10 to the power of 5. So the power tells us that the decimal point has moved 5 places to the left. So let's look at the numbers that we looked at earlier. The distance between Earth and the Sun, 92 million. We need to write that as a number between 1 and 10. So right now the decimal point's right at the very end. We need to move it back the way to the left to try and get a number between 1 and 10. So we keep going and we get here, which is 9.2. We need to know how many places we moved that decimal point. Well, we just count these wee bumps up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've moved it 7 places. So that gives us 9.2 times 10 to the power of 7. And the 9.2 is between 1 and 10. And the decimal point has moved 7 places. Okay. The next one, remember it was the old man, and we changed these 70 years into seconds. So it was 2,200,000,000. Lots of zeros there. So again, get the number between 1 and 10. So we need to move the decimal point to the left. Keep going until we get a number between 1 and 10. That gives us 2.2. How many places did we move that decimal point? Well, we moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We moved it 9 places, so that will be 2.2 times 10 to the power of 9, and the 2.2 is between 1 and 10, and the power is the decimal point moving 9 places. Okay, and lastly we have the dinosaurs 228 million years ago. Get the number between 1 and 10, so move the decimal point to the left, keep going, and we get 2.28. How many places did we have to move that decimal point? We moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 places to the left. So that gives us 2.28 times 10 to the power of 8. Numbers between 1 and 10. And the power is how many places the decimal point has moved. Okay, now here's a few examples I want you to try. Okay, so the first one is 14,000. So to get that a number between 1 and 10, we should have 1.4 times 10. That part doesn't change, that's always the same. And it's to the power of how many places did I have to move that decimal point? I had to move it 4 places. Okay, the next one, I've got 4.8 times 10 to the power of 7. Okay, now I want you to pause the video there and try these examples yourself. Okay, here's your answers. Hope you did okay with them. If not, again, please put a comment in below today's link. Now here's the questions I would like you to do today. It's exercise 10.3, questions 1 to 4. Just be careful when you get to question 3. 15.5 million is 15,500,000. 3.6 million is 3,600,000, and so on. Remember, any questions, just post them at the bottom of the link to this video. And here's your answers. Good luck, guys. Bye.